Imagine if one night, in the blink of an eye, Russia's entire air force and space defenses crumbled, leaving their vaunted weaponry as mere smoldering ruins.
Could a single strike shatter decades of secrecy and power?
On November 25, Ukraine's forces unleashed a symphony of destruction on Taganrog, transforming a seemingly untouchable fortress into a graveyard of broken dreams. With sirens wailing like banshees in the dark, the air thick with the acrid stench of burning metal and smoke choking the night sky, Ukrainian warriors launched a coordinated assault on the Beriv Aircraft Company and the Molnia UAV factory. This was no ordinary bomb, it was a dagger plunged into the heart of Russia's military might, exposing laser weapons that danced with satellites above and bombers lurking like silent predators below. Eyes widened at the glow, mimicking a nuclear inferno, a hellish panorama where fire licked the runways and exploded dreams turned to ash.
How did Ukraine humiliate the Kremlin's impervious shield, turning their S-400 defenses into obsolete relics?
Blending missile brigades, naval units, and drone swarms into a swirling vortex of chaos, they crippled fortifications thought impervious to offense. The old era of sluggish propeller crafts faded as sleek, jet-powered UAVs zipped low, evading radars faster than thought's race. Hushed voices murmured tales of intercepted drones, but the roaring flames belied those boasts, revealing a facade of control masking utter futility. Whispers among locals spoke of a giant engulfed in Taganrog's inferno, its form strange and deadly, like a beast from dystopian tales. That beast was the A-60, a flying beast built on an IL-76 frame, its nose a colossal radar, its belly housing a megawatt laser cannon to scorch orbital foes.
Siberia's Side D project birthed this, willing turbo generators churning like furious hearts to unleash blinding fury. Only two such marvels existed, pinnacles of electronic terror, until Ukraine's strike grounded them forever. But what if Russia's pride crumbled not just airborne, but in the hangars nurturing their nuclear beasts? Satellite glimpses and eyewitness accounts painted an undeniable picture, charred remains matching the A-60, confirming a Star Wars fantasy extinguished on the tarmac. The strike dug deeper, torching Tu-95 MS bombers in maintenance bays, their sleek forms poised with Kh-101 missiles for urban devastation. Why panic seized Moscow's plans when these garages became tombs? Because each lost jet slashed their distant threat potential, a distant casualty echoing in kinetic silence. Touching down at the Molnia hub, a poetic twist unfolded where Ukrainian drones sabotaged Russia's aerial eyes. Feel the irony sting like electric shock, as one nation's surveillance machines turned against their creators, breeding chaos in assembly lines once humming with purpose. Panic rippled outward, a missile veering wild over Novorossiysk, sowing disorder amid defensive clamor. How could claims of downed craft mask unintended barrages pelting home cities? Beneath the veneer, a meltdown brewed, air defenses reduced to leaky sieves strained by relentless barrages. Strategically, this wasn't a feather in Ukraine's cap but a shackle tightening on Russia's throat. The Beriv complex, sanctum for F-50 AWACS birds, now crippled. Without this nest, those radar guardians falter, leaving pilots groping in blindness. Feel the void pressing in, conversation whispers fading in darkened cockpits. Hardened facilities pierced, ambiguity lingered, but the hits screamed dysfunction. Ukraine's gambit trapped the Russian fleet in terrestrial limbo, dooming sorties to aimless flounder. Broader repercussions rippled like seismic aftershocks, mocking Russia's secure rear bastion. Civilian skies dimmed in Rostov, Krasnodar, Sochi, luxury havens now flustered fields where flights stuttered into halt. Hear the governor's voice crack under the siege's weight, videos leaking damning local vows of damn the blasted plane. Trust in protective dogma eroded, exposure breeding dismay. Ukraine's tactics, born of jet drones and Neptune arsenals, exposed the S-400's rigidity, a lumbering giant felled by nimble foes. What nightmare scenario manifested when the S-60, billions poured for doomsday might, ignited from modest munitions? Bankruptcy of a military monolith, 20th-century bulwarks hunted by 21st-century shadows. Logistically, Taganrog's onslaught severed Crimea's lifelines, exponential decay in defense fervor. If defect-ridden, the base succumbed to peril, Russia's southern grasp loosened. Ukraine advanced, lopping the artery-feeding conquered airpads. Russia halted flights in frenzied backlash, unveiling wreckage's buried verities. Flight data froze, elite retreats recoiling under threat.
Ultimate irony, an operation fusing forces to dismantle Air-ENG supremacy, toppling laser legacies and bomber modernizations. Rhetorical wonder persists. Did Ukraine cripple space warfare or just embolden resilience? Sensory echoes remain, crackling fires, vibrating earth, fear's metallic bite. This pivot marked a saga's cusp, where dominance shifted under night's cloak, and the reverberations promised no quick revival. As alliances fractured and secrets unleashed, one audacious blow recharted battlefields, leaving adversaries to ponder the abyss. Will Russia's phoenix rise, or does this checkmate seal a prolonged twilight? The skies, once sovereign, now whispered doubts of fidelity and frailty. Earlier, we explored how Russia's deepest aviation secrets were laid bare. Ukraine's bold strike brought the fight directly to Moscow's safest industrial hubs, sending shockwaves across the nation. Panicked, they grounded all flights. Now, we're piecing together the hidden realities from the ruins. To grasp this raid, let's dive into the attack method employed. Imagine a symphony of destruction that began not as a single note, but a chaotic orchestra. Ukrainian command and spies orchestrated this not with isolated troops, but through a groundbreaking blend of missile units, sea forces, elite operatives, and drone squads. This layered onslaught strategy broke Russia's defenses wide open. At its core were Ukraine's cutting-edge jet drones and their famed Neptune cruise missiles, moving like shadows in the night. The days of sluggish propeller drones are done. Fast and low, they sliced into Taganrog's airspace, turning Russian radar responses to nothing but echoes in the void. Feel the heat of claimed victories. 249 drones supposedly downed, yet the roaring infernos at Beriv's facilities told the real story, mere smoke to mask the Kremlin's failure. The heart of this blitz? Beriv's scientific hub, Russia's lifeline for every key aircraft. But the crown jewel targeted the deadly hour was the A-60 craft, a beast from sci-fi nightmares come alive. No mere cargo hauler. Built on an IL-76 frame, it bore a colossal nose radar and a 1-megawatt laser cannon within its body. Born from the Soviet-era Sich program, it aimed to blind orbiting satellites and incinerate missiles mid-air. Feel the rumble, twin massive turbo generators flanked its sides, powering that monstrous laser. Only two such prototypes exist globally, the zenith of Russia's space warfare edge. Analyst photos from Oryx and eyewitness accounts? Crystal evidence, no doubts. They captured a hulking fuselage, hallmarks of the A-60 engulfed in fiery chaos, parked at Taganrog South. Satellites pinpointed its spot dead center in the blaze. How did Ukraine ground Russia's Star Wars dream before launch? A twist of fate, blending genius with grit. What happens when a superpower's mightiest toy crumbles under simple tenacity? Picture the metal groan as allies press further into forbidden skies. Was this the end of dominance, or just the spark igniting more turmoil? The air shivers. Previous events revealed the destruction of Russia's most advanced aircraft and strategic assets, exposing alarming vulnerabilities. The recent attack on Taganrog marked a drastic turning point, sending shockwaves through Russian defenses and revealing their fragile security. Now, the full story unfolds, how Ukraine's daring strike brought some of Russia's most secret and powerful weapons crashing down. Satellite images and eyewitness reports paint a vivid picture, a colossal aircraft resembling a futuristic science fiction machine engulfed in roaring flames at the Taganrog South Air Base. The characteristic shape of the A-60 laser weapon carrier, built to disable satellites and burn ballistic missiles mid-air, was unmistakable. The massive fuselage, marked by its radar-laden nose and turbo generators, was now a smoldering wreck. This wasn't just an attack, it was a calculated strike at Russia's very space warfare backbone, destined to shatter their celestial ambitions. But the devastation extended far beyond one aircraft. Nearby, the hangars housing two of Russia's formidable 95 ms strategic bombers, key players carrying Kh-101 cruise missiles, were also obliterated. These bombers serve as the backbone of Moscow's long-range strike force, targeting Ukrainian cities from thousands of kilometers away. Their destruction was more than mere loss, it was a brutal blow to Russia's missile power, crippling their ability to project force and strike with precision. The hardened symbols of Russian strength now lay in ruins, silent witnesses to Ukraine's audacity. Yet, the most shocking collapse was at the heart of Russia's drone production hub, the Molniya UAV factory. This was the factory where Russia's most vital eyes and ears of the battlefield were crafted, its unmanned aerial systems. With a masterstroke of irony, Ukraine struck directly at Moscow's technological core, sending a message that their enemy's own tools were turning against them. The scene was a haunting irony: drones meant to defend Russia, now turned into the very instruments of its suffering. Amid this chaos, Russian air defenses unraveled completely. The skies over Novorossiysk trembled as a missile malfunctioned, spiraling out of control and causing chaos. Military officials scrambled to explain how their defenses, touted as unstoppable, crumbled before the relentless Ukrainian onslaught. Official claims of shooting down 116 UAVs over the Black Sea couldn't hide the mounting failures, missiles falling on cities, defenses failing to respond. The once guarded skies now felt unprotected, exposed to the precise blows delivered by stealthy Ukrainian systems. The attack's implications stretch far beyond immediate damage. It's a strategic nightmare for Russia, an open refutation of their so-called secure backyard doctrine. Taganrog's sleek military installations, once deemed out of reach, have been exposed as vulnerable. Ukraine's successful infiltration heralds a new era of warfare where outdated defenses stand no chance against cutting-edge, adaptable tactics. But the story doesn't end here. The destruction of the laser carrier, strategic bombers, and drone factories is only the beginning. The loss of these assets sparks a question: how will Russia respond? Will they double down on their defenses, or will they face a future where their military edifice crumbles under smaller, smarter threats? The ticking clock hints at an unpredictable future, where the balance of power begins to tilt. For now, the skies over Russia's southern regions remain eerily silent, yet beneath the surface, a storm is brewing, one that could reshape the entire landscape of modern warfare. The question remains: with their most secret weapons destroyed, can Russia hold on to its last strongholds, or will Ukraine's bold move push the world into a new, uncertain chapter? The recent attack on Taganrog marked a pivotal shift in the ongoing conflict, revealing vulnerabilities long thought impenetrable. What was once perceived as Russia's fortified sanctuary has been turned into a battlefield of strategic defeat, exposing how fragile its military backbone truly is. This event didn't just cripple a few targets, it struck at the core of Russia's aerial dominance and technological supremacy, unraveling years of carefully constructed defenses. The assault delivered a devastating blow to Russia's most secret and vital aviation infrastructure. At the heart of this chaos was the destruction of the famed A-50 airborne early warning aircraft, Russia's version of the AWACS. These aircraft are few in number, and their maintenance can only be performed at specific facilities, namely, the Beriv complex in Taganrog. Once considered nearly invincible, these flying command centers now lie in ruins. Witnesses reported the hangars smoldering, the once advanced systems engulfed in flames, a scene straight from a science fiction nightmare. Satellite images confirmed that the critical aircraft had been reduced to charred wreckage, leaving Russia's aerial eyes blind and deaf. With the destruction of the A-50 infrastructure, Russian fighter jets, normally masters of the skies, are now flying blind. How can they defend their borders when they can't detect incoming threats? The entire Russian air combat strategy hinges on these surveillance giants. Without them, Ukraine's forces can strike with impunity, knowing their missiles and drones will go unnoticed. Ukraine's attack was meant to suffocate Russian air power, condemning their fighter jets to total darkness. The destruction of repair facilities for their main strategic bombers, billion-dollar assets crafted over years, further cripples their offensive potential. The stealthy, rapid strike capabilities that Ukraine employed threaten to reduce missile attacks on Ukrainian cities during the harsh winter ahead. But the psychological toll might be even greater than the military damage. Civil aviation over southern Russia, Rozov, Krasnodar, Sochi, came to a grinding halt. Flights cancelled, airports locked down, as authorities scrambled to control the chaos. For the Russian elite, accustomed to luxury escapes and secretive retreats, their sanctuaries are now potential targets, usable as battlegrounds. Cries from locals captured the unfolding panic. "Our plane is gone," they shout, the bitter reality echoing through the silence of what was once peaceful leisure. No longer are these places mere resorts, they are war zones, symbols of Russia's faltering fortress. This sequence of strikes signals more than tactical success, it is a strategic knockout. The doctrine Russia relied upon, the belief in an unassailable backyard, has been shattered.
Ukraine's daring assault on Taganrog has shattered Moscow's illusions of invincibility. The gap between victory and catastrophe is collapsing. How much longer can Russia's defenses hold? Will this be the moment that finally cracks the entire northern flank of their military machine? The answer remains uncertain.
But one thing is clear, the tide of war has turned definitively in Ukraine's favor. Building on the aftermath of the Taganrog strike, where Ukraine crippled Russia's missile capabilities and sparked widespread fear, scattering panic across Rostov's skies, here we delve deeper into the shattering blow to Moscow's unshakable image of power. What explosives of mistrust detonated as Sochi's runways fell silent? The air grows thick with the stench of burning fuel, lights flickering like dying stars over frozen tundra. Governor Kondratyev whispered his region's darkest hour, admitting a siege unlike any other, his voice cracking over the radio waves. Locals filmed the chaos, raw screams piercing the night. A plane is gone, irreversibly lost. Echoing beyond censorship's iron grip, crashing into global screens. Drones danced perilously close to S-400 sanctuaries, etching cracks in the Kremlin's shield. Buildings trembled 700 meters from those mighty batteries, a humiliating revelation that even the envisioned impenetrable fortress of Taganrog and Rostov laid bare, vulnerable to Ukraine's swift, soaring drones. The Bar's jets and Neptune missiles tore through outdated defenses, humiliating sluggish giants priced at billions but paralyzed by nimble adversaries. How did a modest drone dismantle a decades-old apocalyptic laser like the A-60, forged in secrecy? This isn't mere destruction, it's the financial ruin of a war machine clinging to yesterday's relics. Russia clings to 20th century armor, while Ukraine unleashes 21st century hunters, flipping the script on battlefield dominance. Taganrog pulses as the vital heartbeat of Russia's southern defenses, now severed and bleeding. If the Beriv hub crumbles, if South Air Base becomes a no-fly graveyard, guarding Crimea evaporates into thin smoke. Ukraine's prior assaults on Crimean bases now severed the lifeblood feeding those outposts. Without maintenance miracles for those F-50 radars, what blind fate awaits Russian jets above their own clouds? A sudden memory floods in the roar of turbines starting a crisp dawn years ago, the sharp bite of diesel fumes clinging to skin, the low hum vibrating through bones as pilots briefed under starry Azov skies, unaware of the fragility. Could this mark the end of Russia's unchallenged reign from the Black Sea to the Don? The psychological storm rages on, minds fracturing under the weight of exposed fallacies. What if parachuting into winter, the missile barrages on Ukrainian homes finally relent, or hide deeper shadows yet to unfold? The war's course cues, dragging Moscow toward an irreversible abyss. Wait, has Ukraine just unearthed a flaw in Putin's armor that could redefine every front line? The skies over Sochi tremble, a twist where luxury resorts morph into frontline trenches, and elite escapes turn to entrapment. But the true horror? If those F-50 Guardians can't be revived, fighter pilots could stumble blind, missiles untracked, air supremacy slipping like sand. Each explosion reverberates through logged hangars, the acrid smoke-stung eyes and throats, sparks raining down like cursed stars. How can Russia patch the siege when its repair cradles lie in ruins? The anxiety mounts, a chess master dethroned piece by piece. Governor Kondratyev's grudged truths unveil a region under siege. Yet the videos circulate wildfire, sowing seeds of doubt. Why trust a fortress sliced by inexpensive arrows? And that F-50 fleet, without Beriv's cradles, stranded like beached whales, their crews feeling the chill of isolation. Ukraine's trailblazers exposed vulnerabilities, cheap tech overpowering expensive beasts, the S-60 prototype cratered by swarming foes. As winter looms, missile threats may wane, but trust in Moscow's might is shattered. Flashback pulses, the clang of welds in a hangar, the metallic tang on lips, the distant call of gulls over tranquil waters, now a mocking echo amid flames. Can Russia rebuild before the thaw, or has this strike ignited an unstoppable wildfire? Suspended breath, because if the supply veins clot, Crimea crumbles, and Russia's grip on the south turns to ashes. What unspeakable defeat hides next in the embers? In the ongoing war, Ukraine is utilizing modern tactics to target Russia's most guarded secrets. The recent strike in Taganrog marks a turning point, shifting the balance of power. Now, Ukraine's forces threaten Russia's ability to defend its territory and maintain control over its strategic assets.
Could this silence the superpower's dreams of space dominance forever? The devastation in Taganrog is no ordinary military strike, it's a direct attack on Russia's core military infrastructure. The attack effectively shut down Russia's southern battlefield supply lines, creating chaos in the very heart of their operations. With key air bases compromised, Russia's capacity to shield Crimea and its southern regions is crumbling. The question looms, how long can Russia sustain its dominance when its lifelines are severed? The destruction of the A-60 laser aircraft and supporting facilities indicates more than just a tactical victory. It's a blow to Russia's ability to project power into space. This aircraft, built for advanced electronic warfare and satellite destruction, was the backbone of Russia's potential space warfare strategy. Now, with this system wiped out, Russia's capacity to threaten orbiting assets is years behind. This single raid isn't just a military defeat, it's a global strategic setback, forcing Russia into the shadows of technological inferiority. Imagine the scene: the night sky over Taganrog explodes with burning debris. Flames leap into the darkness, illuminating the chaos. Witnesses describe an eerie glow, akin to a nuclear blast in miniature. Inside the wreckage lies the core of Russia's secret weaponry, its hopes of space dominance crumbling amid a cloud of smoke. This attack strikes not only physical assets but the very nerve center of Russia's technological pride. Ukraine's bold operation didn't just target a factory, it struck at the backbone of Russian military strength. By destroying the Beriv complex, the hub for upgrading nuclear bombers and spyplanes, Ukraine has crippled Russia's aerial surveillance and missile capabilities. Meanwhile, the damage to the maintenance facilities for strategic bombers leaves Russia unable to sustain its offensive pressure. The result? A military blackout, leaving vast regions like Zaporizhia and Kherson vulnerable and unprotected for the first time in years. This isn't merely an act of sabotage, it's a strategic shutdown of Russia's most vital defense systems. The destruction of the A-60 and related infrastructure signals a new era, one where Ukraine is no longer just defending but actively dismantling Russia's dominance. As Russian eyes in the sky go dark and their nuclear bombers are left grounded, a profound question emerges: how can Russia continue to threaten when its most secret and powerful assets have been obliterated? The implications are staggering. The ability to monitor Ukrainian territories or retaliate with advanced missile campaigns depends on these now destroyed assets. Ukraine has effectively turned off Russia's global threat level in space. The consequences ripple beyond the battlefield, embedding a message for all: no secret, no fortress, no system is invulnerable. The superpower illusion is shattering, piece by piece, on the scarred runway of Taganrog. The night of November 25 will be remembered as the day the tide turned, exposing Russia's vulnerabilities and revealing Ukraine's unexpected prowess. Previously, we saw how Ukraine's daring strike shattered Russia's most secretive air and space networks in Taganrog. The destruction of the aircraft factory, the laser weapon carrier, and the advanced unmanned systems marked a decisive shift. Russia's once formidable defenses crumbled under Ukraine's precision, revealing a desperate vulnerability in their highly protected military infrastructure. This attack wasn't just tactical, it was a strategic blow that could reshape the entire future of the conflict. Now, Ukraine's focus turns beyond Taganrog, aiming to destabilize Russia's entire military backbone. The map of Ukraine's strategic targets extends deep into Russian territory, beyond mere defense lines, into the heart of its military complex. Ukrainian forces use burst-fast jets and pinpoint strikes, striking fear into the core of Russia's network of bases and command centers. The rapid pace of these operations has turned Russia's old borders into fragile fronts, inching closer to their most vital assets. One of the next potential targets is the Yeysk Air Base, just across from Taganrog. This base is the nucleus of Russia's naval aviation, where fighter bombers take off to patrol the Sea of Azov and the Black Sea. It's a hub of radar, early warning systems, and pilot training, crucial to Russia's maritime dominance. Without the guardian shield of advanced detection systems like the A-50 and A-60, Yeysk becomes glaringly exposed. Ukraine's jets, with their unmatched speed and stealth, outmaneuver Russian defenses, turning fuel depots and training grounds into potential infernos. One successful strike here could cripple Russia's entire naval air force and training pipeline, a blow that might set them back years. But Ukraine's ambitions do not stop at the coast.
Deeper inside Russia, another target looms, the Saratov region, home to vital strategic bomber bases. Despite being hundreds of kilometers from the front lines, this location has become a frequent target for drone harassment. The attack vectors have evolved. No longer are slow-moving propeller drones the weapon of choice. Now, jet-propelled missiles cut through the airwaves at near-sonic speeds, making interception nearly impossible. The significance of this shift is staggering. It's not just about individual strikes but about unraveling Russia's ability to project power and maintain its deterrence. The Saratov base, housing the long-range bombers that threaten Ukraine's cities, is now under threat. Once thought safe from attack, this deep inland target could soon face the same fate as Taganrog, struck by Ukrainian jets flying faster and more accurately than ever before. What comes next? Could Ukraine truly threaten Russia's strategic core, not just with tactical successes but by turning their entire military infrastructure into ash? Are Russian defenses crumbling under the weight of these new generation aerial assaults? The answer may be in the skies above. They're no longer safe, and the entire balance of power is hanging in the balance. An unexpected turn of events could splinter Russia's hold on its military secrets and force the Kremlin to confront a reality where their most prized assets are no longer untouchable. Hundreds of kilometers from Ukraine's border, a new threat has emerged. What used to be slow-moving propeller drones are now replaced by jet-powered munitions, roaring at near-sonic speed. These weapons can strike with terrifying precision and speed, forcing Russia's aging air fleet into chaos. Their primitive defense systems are powerless against such rapid assaults. Are they even aware of the catastrophe approaching? Previously, Russian forces relied on static defenses and outdated tactics. Now, Ukraine's advanced jets and missiles have shattered those illusions. The strike on the maintenance facilities in Taganrog has dealt a crippling blow. No longer can Russia support its most vital aircraft, bombers capable of carrying nuclear threats. The destruction of critical infrastructure has severed their nerve center, forcing Moscow into a panic. Imagine the scene: flames licking the night sky, a deafening explosion ripping through steel, sending shockwaves through the ground. This wasn't just a raid, it was a strategic blow to Russia's nuclear deterrence. If these facilities are compromised, Russia's most powerful bombers become useless husks, stranded and vulnerable. The risk isn't just military, it's a blow to the Kremlin's prestige, a blow that echoes far beyond the battlefield. But the target list doesn't stop there. The strategic hub at Primorsko-Akhtarsk, home to Iran-made Shahed drones, now faces the same fate. Ukrainian intelligence tracks every move, waiting, ready to strike. The Neptune missile's overwhelming power could obliterate drone storage and launch pads in a single, devastating salvo. Cut off these bases, and Ukraine rapids its air defense, choking off threats at their source. How does Russia respond? Not with strategic planning, but chaos and retreat. Their first instinct? Pull aircraft out of reach, miles away, thousands of kilometers to the Arctic, to Olynya Air Base. The cost? A ruinous stretch on their aging fleet. The engines wear down faster, fuselages fatigue under stress, and the cost of every missile strike soars. Their historic aircraft, once symbols of power, are now slowly dying, sacrificed to avoid losing them entirely. This retreat isn't a solution. It's a trap, draining resources and exposing vulnerabilities. The once impenetrable Russian defenses are crumbling under the weight of Ukraine's technological advances. As the war landscape shifts, the Kremlin's strategy seems more like a desperate scramble than a calculated defense. Are they losing control? Or is this just the beginning of the collapse of Russia's once formidable military machine? The stakes grow higher every moment, as the fires in Taganrog and beyond threaten to turn the tide of the conflict. Ukraine isn't just striking targets, it's rewriting the rules of modern warfare itself. The question remains: how far can Moscow retreat before the entire structure finally collapses? Imagine a world where the once unshakable skies over Russia tremble under a wave of destruction. The nights are no longer silent, they are filled with the roaring of lasers, the thunder of missiles, and the screams of collapsing giants. Ukraine's daring assault on November 25 shattered the backbone of Russia's air and space dominance, turning their own secrets into smoldering ruins. As darkness fell over Taganrog, it wasn't just a routine strike. It was a masterstroke of modern warfare, a multi-layered blitzkrieg involving drones, missiles, and special forces working in perfect harmony. The Ukrainian forces tore through defenses that Russia believed to be impenetrable. The atmosphere thickened with tension, a blend of burning fuel, charred metal, and the nervous anticipation of a nation under siege. How did they pull off such a historic feat? The answer lies in the audacity of innovation and the ruthlessness of strategy. Footage from local witnesses paints a harrowing picture. Flames light up the night like the aftermath of a nuclear catastrophe, casting shadows over the wreckage of what was supposed to be Russia's undisputed strongest hold. The heart of this attack? The Boriv Aircraft Scientific and Technical Complex, a fortress for Russia's strategic aviation. That night, Ukraine delivered a blow that echoed through the Kremlin's corridors of power, perfectly targeting the legendary A-60 laser weapon carrier, a machine so advanced it seemed straight from science fiction. Only 2 prototypes exist worldwide, and both were nearly destroyed. This aircraft, built on the old Il-76 fuselage, wielded a megawatt laser capable of burning satellites from orbit and disabling ballistic missiles mid-flight, a true embodiment of space-age technology. Satellite images confirmed the devastation. The massive fuselage, marked by its distinctive features, was engulfed in flames, pinned down at the Taganrog South Air Base. As the inferno raged, it became clear that Ukraine's strike had postponed Russia's most ambitious Star Wars project, a direct assault on their space and electronic warfare capabilities. The destruction didn't stop there. The attack floors also targeted hangars modernizing Russia's fleet of strategic bombers, the 95MS model, crucial for long-range missile strikes against Ukraine. With these bombers out of service, Russia's ability to project power from afar was crippled, their strategic bombers turned to lifeless hulks on the ground. But the real game-changer was the hit on the Molniya UAV manufacturing plant. Ukraine's drone factories, the eyes that scout and strike from the shadows, were decimated with their own technology. This irony hits hard, the Kremlin's pride and security in unmanned systems taken down with precision strikes from Ukrainian drones. Russian air defenses, once seen as invincible, crumbled under this relentless assault. Failures and chaos erupts, like the missile defense systems turning against their own cities. Reports claim 116 UAVs shot down over the Black Sea, but the true picture is far worse. The airspace over Russia's southern territories is now a dangerous void, filled with the debris of failed defenses and falling missiles. This attack isn't just tactical, it's a strategic shift. Ukraine's forces have turned the tables, exposing the vulnerabilities of Russia's old guard. The once unbreakable rear regions, including Rostov, Krasnodar, and Sochi, are now under threat. Local airports are shuttered, flights cancelled, as the elite retreat in panic, realizing their homes and vacation resorts have become battlefields. Cries of "another plane destroyed" echo through the cities, breaking through censorship. The trust in Russia's military shield is shattered, replaced by uncertainty and fear. This event marks more than a mere victory, it signals a complete transformation in the battlefield landscape. Taganrog, once thought to be a fortress, proved to be an Achilles heel. Ukraine shattered the doctrine of impregnable defenses with their fast, adaptable drones and missiles systems that outpace the slow, cumbersome Russian defense setups. Footage and evidence reveal that even building 700 meters from S-400 batteries weren't safe. The once-rich defense umbrella is riddled with gaps. Economic and military consequences follow swiftly. The destruction of the A-60 aircraft, built at enormous cost over decades, isn't just a loss of hardware, it's a blow to Russia's technological pride and space capabilities. Such advanced systems, if maintained and modernized, could have prolonged Russia's aerial dominance. Now, with critical infrastructure obliterated, Russia's future in space and electronic warfare hangs in the balance. But what's truly alarming is the psychological impact. The elite's confidence is wavering. The Air Force, which once seemed invulnerable, is now a hunted prey. The grip over their southern flank, Crimea and Rostov, weakens daily. Ukraine's attack has turned their most sacred strongholds into vulnerable targets. The once secret bases and command centers are no longer safe, and the fear of a surprise strike grows ever stronger. So, as the smoke clears and the embers die out, a question lingers: will Russia's military-industrial complex collapse under the weight of this defeat?
Or will they conceal these losses behind a shield of silence? The night of November 25 revealed that no place remains unreachable. Every target now lies exposed, every secret weapon vulnerable. The question is, how much longer can Russia cling to its outdated fortress of hardware and illusions of control? The Russian air defenses and strategic assets have been pushed to the brink. Ukraine's laser-guided precision strikes have shattered the illusion of invincibility. The once secret weapons and hidden bases are now exposed, lying in ruins. The question remains, can Russia hide its failures, or is this the beginning of its technological downfall? Now, as the smoke clears in Taganrog, the true extent of Ukraine's daring attack is coming into focus. For years, Russia believed its most classified projects were untouchable. But last night, that belief was shattered. The destruction of the S-60 laser aircraft, an invention straight from a science fiction nightmare, has exposed a terrifying vulnerability. This aircraft, capable of knocking satellites from orbit and burning ballistic missiles mid-flight, was the crown jewel of Russia's space and electronic warfare ambitions. Yet, it now lies charred on the runway, a grotesque symbol of Moscow's burgeoning weaknesses. With massive turbo generators and a megawatt laser cannon, the S-60 was a technological marvel. But Ukrainian drones, faster, smarter, stealthier, penetrated Russia's defenses with lethal ease. Satellite images showed flames engulfing the aircraft, confirming its destruction. This attack was no ordinary strike, it was a direct blow to Russia's space-first strategy. And the damage doesn't stop there. The same operation decimated military logistics, destroying hangar complexes for strategic bombers and unmanned drones produced at the sprawling Beriv complex. The loss of these assets isn't just a setback, it's a strategic collapse. Destroyed aircraft mean lost missile strikes against Ukrainian cities. The strike on the maintenance hangars effectively blinds Russia's most modern bomber fleet. Without proper repair facilities, these aircraft become useless relics, standing idle, rusting, and eventually falling apart. The impact ripples through Russia's entire military posture. Ukraine's blows are calculated to significantly reduce Russian missile pressure this winter. The psychological and strategic effects ripple further. Areas such as Rostov, Krasnodar, and Sochi have ground to a halt. Civil aviation is in chaos, with airports sealed off, flights cancelled, and the elite's vacation spots turned into war zones. The population's trust in Moscow's protective shield is shattered. This attack signals a turning point. Moscow's fortress doctrine, its belief in impenetrable air defenses, has been exposed as flimsy. Russian air defense, once considered invulnerable, is now riddled with holes. Ukrainian drones, with their jet engines and AI navigation, bypass massive S-400 systems with ease. Satellite images reveal bizarre scenes, car tires duct taped to the wings of strategic bombers, an absurd attempt at protection against advanced threats. Russia's outdated, cumbersome defenses are no match for fast, adaptable Ukrainian technology. Meanwhile, attempts to jam drone navigation signals have failed. Ukrainian drones now operate with visual AI, terrain recognition, and precise targeting, regardless of electronic countermeasures. The night of the Taganrog attack was not just a strike, it was Moscow's wake-up call. Ukraine's new weaponry, flying at Mach speeds in low altitude, outsmarts Russia's old systems every time. The destruction of the S-60, a project built over decades, worth billions, represents the collapse of Russia's space and electronic warfare ambitions. Amidst the chaos, the Kremlin is desperately trying to hide the truth, but satellite images and witness reports tell a different story. The future looks darker for Russia. As the last remnants of its once formidable electronic and aerospace defense crumble, Ukraine's strategic pressures intensify. Now, the whole southern flank, the gateway to Crimea, is under threat. If the main bases are compromised, the entire Russian campaign faces collapse. The next target? Perhaps the heart of the Kremlin's most trusted stronghold. Ukraine's precise, relentless strikes mean no place is truly secure anymore. Every secret base, every hidden warehouse is now a potential disaster waiting to happen. The question then stands, will Russia continue to deny this defeat, hiding its losses behind a veil of lies? Or will it admit that its technological empire is crumbling beneath the waves of Ukrainian innovation?
One thing is certain: Ukraine's bold operation has forever changed the battlefield. Secrets once buried deep in Russian soil are now exposed, paving the way for a new era of aerial dominance. The game has shifted, and the world watches to see if Russia can withstand the storm of modern warfare.